in a small fishing village along the coast of West Africa. Where the sea breathed life into the people, there lived a young man named Kwame. Known for his charm and captivating looks, Kwame was the dream of every maiden in the village. But his heart belonged to Abina, a beautiful, humble girl who loved him deeply. They had grown up together, their bond solid as the ocean's tide. To everyone, they were destined for a life of love and unity. However, Kwame had dreams that went beyond the village life. He desired wealth, power, and influence. Though he loved Abina, the simple life she represented wasn't enough for his ambitions. His restlessness grew, and soon, whispers reached his ears of an older woman who had recently arrived in the village, a wealthy widow named Yadufi. She was stunning for her age, always draped in expensive fabrics, and possessed land, gold, and power. Kwame's mind was consumed with the possibilities. He envisioned a life of luxury, far removed from the village's struggles. Though Abina pleaded with him, promising their love was enough, Kwame's resolve hardened. One evening, under the silver light of the full moon, Kwame broke Abina's heart. "I must move on, Abina. You don't understand the world beyond this village," he said coldly, looking anywhere but her tear-filled eyes. "Kwame, you are chasing a life that is not yours," Abina whispered, her voice cracking. "I have loved you with all my heart, but you no longer love me." Kwame turned away, his heart heavy, but he pushed the feeling aside, blinded by greed and ambition. Within a month, Kwame married Yadufi in a grand ceremony, dazzling the village with his newfound wealth. His life transformed overnight. He moved into Ya's grand mansion by the sea, adorned with treasures from distant lands. But the more time he spent with Ya, the more he noticed strange things about her. At night, she would disappear, leaving their bed cold and empty. Sometimes, Kwame would hear whispers in a language he didn't understand coming from the ocean's depths. Ya would return in the early hours of the morning, her skin moist with sea water, yet she would say nothing of her nightly disappearances. One night, Kwame decided to follow her. He crept after her as she slipped from their home and headed toward the shoreline. To his horror, he watched as Ya walked directly into the ocean, her body transforming before his eyes. Her legs merged into a long, scaly tail, and her hair floated around her like seaweed. She was no human. Yadufi was a marine spirit. Panic gripped Kwame's heart. He had married not for love, but for wealth, and in doing so, had cursed himself. The riches he had desired so badly were now a prison. He could not leave Ya, the bond they shared was bound by magic, and her true form had power over him. He was trapped in a loveless marriage, his soul tethered to the whims of the sea. Meanwhile, Abina's heart had healed. Though she had been broken, she found comfort in the support of her family and friends. She grew stronger, more radiant, her beauty and grace blossoming in ways that the village hadn't seen before. And then one day, a stranger arrived in the village, a young, handsome businessman named Kofi. He had returned from the city, where he had built a thriving business in trade. Kofi was captivated by Abina's beauty, but more than that, he admired her strength and kindness. They began to spend time together, and unlike Kwame, Kofi was genuine and thoughtful. He admired her for who she was, not for what she could give him. Their bond grew naturally, and in time, they fell deeply in love. When Kofi asked Abina to marry him, it was a joyous occasion. The village celebrated their union, and their wedding was a celebration of true love, a love built on respect, trust, and mutual admiration. Kofi's wealth was a blessing, but his love for Abina was his true treasure. Kwame, still bound to Yadufi, could only watch from the shadows as Abina and Kofi's life flourished. He lived in regret, knowing that his greed had cost him the one thing that truly mattered, real love. As the years passed, Kwame became a distant memory to Abina. She and Kofi built a life together filled with happiness, children, and success. Abina had found what Kwame never could, true love that no amount of wealth could ever replace. And as for Kwame, he remained by the sea, haunted by the choices he had made. Each night, as he lay beside Yadufi, listening to the call of the ocean, he wondered what his life would have been if he had chosen love over greed. The moral of the story: true wealth is found in love and integrity, not in material riches.